Hey friends, canning can be a daunting task for beginners, but apparently with this Presto Electric Canner, it's supposed to be a breeze. So join me today as we test this guy out and see how easy or hard it actually is to can. We're going to be canning beans. So let's get started by first opening the box. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you might have noticed that I already have a manual canner, the kind with the gauge and the weight. And that's typically what I've used all along for canning. And so this is a brand new system for me. Right there I'm just showing you that they have this really cool one-pager. It's front and back. One side is the pressure canning instructions. The other side is the boiling can instructions. Now this set of instructions is really just like how to clean, how to maintenance, not something that I would use every day. That bottom plate there is actually what goes into the bottom of the canner, so that way your jars don't touch the bottom of the canner, because that can cause them to break. And pretty much those were all the pieces, and here is the canner. It looks quite different than my manual canner. Unfortunately, my manual canner did die on me. I don't even know how this happened, but I was canning some broth and the canner became stuck in place and it would not open. And I went online, I looked at everything to say how you're supposed to deal with a situation like that. We let it cool down, we let it get to room temperature, we got it cold, we pounded on it with a hammer, we used screwdrivers, we did everything that I could think of. We ended up breaking the handles off the canner trying to get it open, and then we basically dented the canner. It's not usable anymore, which is why I took this opportunity to go ahead and get the Presto Electric Canner, because I saw it on Acre Homestead. Becky has one and she talks about it being so much easier to use than, the manual canner, because you can walk away from it. So here what I'm doing is I'm just educating myself really quick about how to use this, how different it is than the manual canner that I'm used to, and really it's quite the same, but they did an exceptional job with the instructions. They really made it super easy. So our first step is we're going to get ready and prepare the food, which is I'm canning 4 different kinds of beans. All of these I grew in my garden. I had them soaking overnight. I think I did a whippoorwill cowpea, a great northern bean, my Puerto Rican black beans, and a light red kidney bean. I soaked them overnight, and then, according to the National Center for Home Food Preservation, after soaking them overnight, you should cook them for about 30 minutes. I have done that in the past with my black beans, and they basically turned into refried beans in the jar. So I'm doing something a little bit different. This isn't an approved way of doing beans, but I have seen others do it, and I feel confident that this way is going to work for me so that I don't have mushy beans. One of the main reasons why I'm comfortable with this is a lot of the times the reason why the National Center for Home Food Preservation wants you to cook them for 30 minutes is because a lot of the dry beans that you get in the store, you have no idea how old those beans are. And the longer beans sit, the harder they become, the less water or humidity in the air happens. And so they just become harder and harder over time, and it becomes difficult for the heat inside the canner to penetrate the beans. All of my beans are very soft because they are only less than a year old. I picked them out of my garden, and just by sitting in the liquid overnight, I can actually squish them. So I know that they're plenty soft enough to be canned this way, but of course you always want to follow the instructions that the National Center puts out, so I strongly encourage you to do that. The next step is we're going to fill the canner up to the line. You can see the little line there. And we're going to fill that up with water. If you're doing a boiling water bath, that is a little bit different of a process, but for the pressure canning, which is what's required for beans, we're going to fill it up to that fill line, which I believe is 3 quarts. I'm going to put that pot into the canner, and we're going to put that tray at the bottom for the jars to sit on. And I'm putting the jars in as it instructed with half full of water.
Not really sure the purpose here, except maybe so they don't float and so that the jars can heat up. Now, I normally did this process with my manual canner just to heat the jars and kind of sterilize them. I'm checking the instructions there again just to make sure I'm following them precisely. I'm going to plug this canner in now that I have the water and the jars in there. And you simply hit the button and you can dial it to the right if you want a boiling water bath. I left it on the left side and I put 90 minutes for the pressure canning. I put the lid on, locked it in place, but with the vent still open. That's that little black knob on the top. And then the next step is you have to put down the arm. I don't know what else it was, what it's called, but it's an arm that kind of locks the top of the canner in place, and then you spin that yellowish green knob to complete locking it into place. And then I'm just going to hit the start button, and at this point it's going to begin heating up, so it's warming those jars. Once the heat up cycle is complete, you actually open that little lever up, you twist the top off, and then you remove it so that you can remove the jars, dump the liquid, and then we're going to put our beans in the jars. I think it's important to talk about that the Presto Electric Canner is not an approved canner by the National Center for Home Food Preservation. And I don't know if that's because they've never, had the money or the time to test it, but the way that the Presto canner works is the same way that a manual canner works, but it does it a little bit different. So a manual canner uses pressure to determine that you're up to a certain heat level, which is required for canning low acid foods. So you have to be up to 240 degrees in order to can these foods so that you kill the bacteria, specifically the botulism bacteria. That can't be done in just boiling water, which is one reason why you have to pressure can low acid foods. You can kill off mold, you can kill off other, issues, bacteria and things like that. But when it comes to botulism, it really requires at 240 degrees, which is only achieved through pressurized heating. So the electric pressure canner does this through monitoring. So it monitors the heat level and it establishes the pressure inside the pot based on the temperature. So instead of it assuming the temperature is correct once it's at 10 or 11 pounds of pressure, if you're at my sea level, it does it based on the actual temperature. So to me, this kind of seems like it is more accurate than doing a pressure canner, because if you do a manual pressure canner, you do need to be checking to make sure that that canner is calibrated correctly and that when you put it to 10 or 11 pounds of pressure that it actually does get up to 240 degrees, whereas this electric canner determines that it's at the right pressure when it comes to 240 degrees. I hope I explained that right. So even though it hasn't been tested and the National Center does not promote an electric canner at this time, I don't know how much of that is because this is unsafe, which I don't believe it would be, because Presto is a really good name in the canning industry and does a lot of their own studies and is a trusted manual canner, or if it's just a matter of the National Center for Home Food Preservation not having the funds for the testing of these types of canners yet. It's a new technology, so I understand that, and this is something you're just going to have to decide at your own, in your own home as to whether you feel comfortable using it, even though it is untested. So we were putting the beans in the pot, in the jars, and then we're putting the jars into the canner. And then what happens is I hit the start button, and the first thing it's doing is it's getting it up to heat and pressure, and then it is venting, just like you would vent your manual canner. And so once it is completed the venting, you see it's counting down. It counts down from 10, and when it hit 1, it beeps at you, telling you that it's ready to go. And at that point, you're going to move that little black dial up at the top there to the can position. and that is going to start pressurizing it. I was having a little trouble here because I expected it to like click into place or something, and it just turns. And then, just like with a manual canner, you can see this little metal piece popping up. That's the vent. And when that piece pops completely up into place, it is at pressure, or it's pressurized inside of the canner. And so you can see it is up now. So that canner is now pressurized. I know it's doing what it's supposed to do. And now what we'll see is that 90-minute timer is going to start counting down. So our 90 minutes are now almost done. We're down to the last minute for the canning. And what's cool about this canner is with a manual canner, I would be sitting in my kitchen the whole time monitoring the pressure gauge because my stove is super hot. And even at its lowest on the stove, lowest dial, I still have to turn the stove on and off because even at the lowest, it would get up to 15 pounds of pressure. And you're really wanting it to stay around that 10, 11 mark. So what was cool about this was I didn't have to sit there. I went and I did lots of other household chores while it was canning. I even left the house at one point because it very much reminds me of like a crock pot where you can just let it go. Once you've gotten past those heating up and putting it in and those kinds of things, then it just does all of its own. Like right now, it's completed its 90 minutes and now it's in its cool down cycle. And that can take a significant amount of time. I think it was about an hour and a half. When I use a manual canner, I don't normally wait an hour and a half for it to cool down. And I also was a little bit concerned with it taking so long to cool down that meant, and it stayed pressurized that entire time, would all the contents inside the jar end up being mushy because it stayed pressurized for so long. Well, once I got them out, and I'll show them to you here, they actually did not turn to mush. I've even opened a jar and ate some of my whippoorwill cowpeas, and they are cooked perfectly, which is very cool. The one thing that I noticed once it did complete was that the vent at the top, that little metal piece that we saw pop up, was supposed to have been down by the time that I finished with the cool down period, but it never did. So I kind of tapped it with a knife, with a butter knife, to see if it would pop down on its own, and it did. And then I'm removing the lock and pulling the top off, unlocking it and pulling it off, and there's a lot of heat coming off there. It's very hot even after an hour and a half. And I'm just pulling my jars out, every single one of them sealed perfectly, which is awesome, and all of them cooked perfectly. Like I said, I've already opened one of the jars and they were awesome. The beans weren't mushy. They were exactly as I hoped they would be, and everything sealed correctly. Now, on my jars, I did not put vinegar in the water, which is something that lots of people do, so you're going to see some of that film from my hard water. That's okay, that washes right off, and once they were cool enough to touch, that's exactly what I did, is I wiped them down, and that came right off. And then to store them, I just take the rims off after 24 hours, and then they just go on the pantry shelf.
So it's the next day, and everything canned perfectly. Everything's sealed properly. We have no bubbles. I can lift them all by their lids and no issue. So I think this is a success, and to be quite honest, it had to have been the easiest canning session I ever did. Now, mind you, I could have fit one more jar in here of the regular mouth. Apparently, for the wide mouth, you can only do 4, but for the regular mouth quarts, you could do 5, which would have given me one extra one. I wasn't 100% sure if it would fit, so I didn't want to chance it. But I have to tell you, it has to be the easiest way to can something. You guys know me, I don't just recommend things without telling the cons, but I really have to emphasize that pro, that it is just so easy. And they give you this little one pager. One side of it is the steps for pressure canning, and there are 7 steps, and each step has very simple, easy direction, and on the reverse side, it gives you the 6 steps for boiling water canner. So I'm not sure how anyone could make it any easier. It was great. Now, okay, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, the ugly. There really isn't an ugly in this particular case, but there is one bad. And the one bad is it takes longer, which is surprising because it is easier. But it takes longer because it has a heat up cycle and it has a cool down cycle. The heat up cycle was only about 20 minutes, which would have been something I would have had to do anyway if, you know, boiling the water, heating up the water. But the cool down cycle takes a long time. I mean, it was an hour, hour and a half before I could open the canner to get these out. With that being said, I was able to get laundry done. I got dishes done. I planted stuff out in the garden. I went to the store. Like, normally I would have been sitting here for the entire, what is it, probably 2 hour span of canning these guys because they're 90 minutes and then the heat up, the vent time, and then the cool down time would have at least been 2 hours. But for the entire maybe 3.5 hours that these took, I didn't need to be there. So while it is a con, and the small amount of jars is a con, for me in my house, this works out perfectly because I don't have to monitor it and we don't can significant amounts of items all at once. Very rarely do we do that. So all in all, guys, this one is definitely a thumbs up. If you want to watch more of my videos between now and the next upload, I'm going to throw them up here and here. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. Happy canning.